it's Laura, and I hope you're all doing well. Today I wanted to talk about healthy ways to gain weight. And I feel like there's a lot of information out there regarding healthy ways to lose weight, but in regards to gaining weight, there's not as much information. And so if you're interested in learning healthy ways to gain weight, then keep watching. So my number one piece of advice is to start slow. So just like when losing weight, the recommendation is to lose half a pound to 2 pounds a week. The same goes for gaining weight. So we don't want you to gain a whole bunch of weight really quickly. We want it to be a slow and gradual process, and as a result, the weight will be more likely to stick. And when I'm talking about gaining weight slowly, in addition to slowly increasing your calories, also slowly starting to gain muscle mass. And by doing this, it's super important to start exercising. And it may seem like, I'm really thin, I'm trying to gain weight, I don't want to exercise. Well, we really want you to build muscle, and we want you to be strong. We don't want you to be weak. One way to gain weight is to avoid caffeine and avoid high sugar foods and beverages. So what these do is they give you a surge of energy, and they wake you up, and they really stimulate you. And so if you're someone who is consuming a lot of soda, is consuming a lot of coffee, then it isn't uncommon for your appetite to be suppressed. And this is not good, because it means that you're not getting the appropriate amount of nutrition you need if you're just running on a lot of soda or you're running on a lot of caffeine. And what people find is if they decrease the caffeine, decrease the refined sugar, then they get that appetite back, and they get this feeling of hunger that they normally don't feel because they're just running on this artificial stimulant. So that in an ideal world, we'd get all of our energy from natural stimulants. So that's fruits, vegetables, wholesome, fresh foods and ingredients. And so if you're someone who you're trying to gain weight, and you constantly have a coffee in your hand, or you constantly have a soda in your hand, then start decreasing the amount of those beverages that you're consuming, replace it with water, and as a result, I guarantee that your appetite will increase. So along the same lines of decreasing the refined sugar and the caffeine, next is to increase the quality of beverages that you're consuming. So focus more on the fresh juices, which have calories in them. Say you juice 5 oranges and you drink it. It really doesn't come out to be a whole lot of juice. However, the calories from the oranges are in the juice, and so you're getting all those calories without having to actually eat the oranges. Also think about smoothies, fresh smoothies, making your own smoothies, using high caloric bases. So instead of using water or ice as your base, focus more on consuming fresh juice as your base, or any type of milk, whether you do cow's milk or non-dairy milk. Think about adding different types of high calorie items like raw nuts, raw seeds, and focusing more on increasing your fresh, wholesome ingredients in regards to the beverages that you're consuming. So get away from the artificial things and focus more on the wholesome items. So one quick way, an easy way to add calories to your diet is to go to the grocery store, go to the nut and seed aisle, and choose some nuts and seeds that you really enjoy consuming. And all you need to do is what you would typically eat throughout the day. Every time you eat, adding some type of nuts or seeds, whether it's flax seeds, sunflower seeds, hemp seeds, almonds, walnuts, cashews, whatever you're craving, adding some of those, adding a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons to foods that you already consume. And nuts and seeds are items that are higher in calories per volume, so a small amount of nuts and seeds has a decent amount of calories. You're also getting some good fats from nuts and seeds. You're also getting some protein. And as a result, it'll give you some more energy. So say you're someone who you're sitting down to have some soup. So soup doesn't have a whole lot of calories, right? And so adding some ground flax seeds to it, adding some chia seeds to it will bulk it up and give it some more calories, some more nutrition, so that it'll add some weight on you. Next, always have snacks on hand. So carry snacks with you. And this may be something that you're not used to doing, but it's super important, because when you do get that hunger and you are wanting to eat, it's important that you actually eat something and you don't just ignore that feeling. And it's a lot easier to ignore the feeling if you don't have access to food or if it's not convenient. And so it is super important to carry healthy snacks with you so that when you do get hungry or you do have the urge to munch on a little something, then it's easy to access. So the next two suggestions kind of go hand in hand. So the first one is to eat mini meals. So like I was talking about making sure to carry some snacks with you. Some people, when they're trying to gain weight, when they sit down to a big plate of food, it really, really overwhelms them and it seems like a lot. And so they just end up eating kind of like grazing on it. So sometimes what makes it easier, especially if you're trying to gain weight, is to consuming many meals. So you never get that feeling of being overwhelmed by a huge plate of food. And you're kind of able to more or less choose what you're wanting at that time versus having to plan meals in advance. At the time, if you're craving peanut butter, then you can have some peanut butter. At the time, if you're craving some fruit, you can have some fruit. Instead of having to sit down to a big meal of things that you don't really want to eat, you're more likely to consume more. So in addition to that, I suggest trying to drink separate from your meal. So what happens is fluid, sometimes when we drink a lot with our meals, then it fills us up to the point of where we don't eat as much. So say you have, you're eating a meal and you're also drinking water, but you're just chugging a bunch of water, then you're less likely to consume more of the meal. So what I suggest is to not drink anything with your meals, but try drinking your water or your beverages 30 minutes to an hour before you eat or 30 minutes to an hour after you eat, because then that leaves more room in your stomach for food and for a high calorie item. Last but not least, try focusing on starchy vegetables. So non-starchy vegetables are super, super important. They contain a whole lot of nutrition. However, they are really low in calories. So starchy vegetables like peas, beans, corns, potatoes, yams, those are vegetables that have a lot of nutrition and also have more calories than the non-starchy vegetables. So I hope these tips helped y'all out. If you have any questions or comments, as always, feel free to leave them below. Also, if you have suggestions for future videos, then feel free to leave that below as well. Don't forget to check out my website. I'm available on all forms of social media, so I'll leave those linked below. If you want to be informed when I put up new videos, then feel free to click the subscribe button, and I'll be seeing you on the next video. I hope you all have a great weekend. Bye.